Hey everybody, it's Jason from the Texas Gun Vault 2, and we're back out here in the garage. It's a really nice night here in North Texas, not too hot, not too cold, but unfortunately I can't have the garage door open because there's like kids walking through the alley, my dog's barking, all this kind of stuff, so I have to keep the garage door closed just to keep the noise level down. I really wish I could have it open. I've tried to film this video like 6 or 7 times, and I constantly get interrupted about 2, 3, or 4 minutes in. So actually, I said it's like 10:20 at night. I started to try to film this like 30 minutes ago, and I've already done this like, 7 times. So hopefully this is going to be the take you're going to see. Because tonight I wanted to talk some guns because I want to do a first impressions video and an upcoming projects video. So let's start with the first impressions. And the gun I want to talk about first is the Beretta 92 FS Inox. I was able to take this to the range today. We had some friends come in from out of town and they wanted to go to the range. And my wife was like, hey, I don't want this to be a working trip. Essentially meaning when you go to the range, let's not film anything. Let's just go and enjoy it. And that's cool and all. However, running a firearms channel and having a backlog of videos to make, that's not always feasible. It's like, hey, let's go have some fun, but when we're done and, they go off to eat, I'm going to stay at the range and I'm going to film some content. And she's like, oh, okay, do that. So this is the gun I took to the range. The pistols are always the easiest to film. I don't have to do a lot of setup and prep for them. And I already know what the tests I'm going to run are. So I was able to film the content at the range on this gun. And the Beretta 92 is one of my favorite designs. Not only do I think it's a sexy looking gun, I also in general shoot them pretty well. Not all the variants, but most of them I do, and I shoot them better than probably I should. Because they're just like a mil-spec gun. I mean, this is not a target gun. This is just a standard 92 FS Inox. But for me, this gun is a tack driver. And it's the same thing when it comes to my 92 FS Inox Compact, which is one of the guns of my carry rotation. I just shoot it really, really well. It's a fantastic design. I don't know. I'm just really accurate with these guns. I did have a couple of issues with this, and I wanted to share those with you and what I did to overcome them. So the first thing about the 92 that I generally don't like, and it's not this particular model or this example specifically, it's all the 92s. It's the reset of the trigger. It's too long. Now, I like to ride the reset, but when I'm shooting fast and I'm not trying to do that, I find that if the trigger reset is simply too long, I try to pull the trigger back too early. Even I'm like, okay, it's really long. It's got to have reset by now. And no, it hasn't. And I kind of messed up a couple times at the range with this gun because of that. So let me show you this trigger reset here. So of course we'll pull the trigger and here's the reset. We're going, we're still going. We're still going. Right there it is. And then we have this take up again. It's just long. I don't know. It just kind of slows me down. I wish there was the SRT trigger like in the SIGs, but for the Berettas. I'm sure there's companies out there that make aftermarket triggers, but I'm a big fan of keeping guns all within the same manufacturer. I don't like buying a gun and then having it tricked out with a part from every other company, right? I kind of feel like if you buy a Beretta, I want Beretta parts in my Beretta. And I wish they had like an SRT, a short reset trigger for the Beretta 92. So there was that. So when I was trying to shoot this gun fast during my quick mag change test, it was the only test where I was not accurate with this. I mean, when you watch this video, you're going to see this gun be a tack driver for me. I'm talking groups like that. It's awesome. And then I try to shoot this gun fast, and it's like a shotgun pattern. I shot it really, really low. And then on the second magazine, I realized, because I'm just point shooting, I realized, oh, I'm shooting low, and I raised the aim of the gun up, and it was too high. And it was a mess. The target was an absolute mess. But all the other tests, it's a tack driver. This gun just did not shoot naturally for me if I'm just shooting it fast, point shooting like in a self-defense scenario. Some of it's the longer trigger pull. But otherwise, the gun, very accurate. One of the most accurate guns, probably in the top 10 that I've ever reviewed. The other issue I had, I really didn't catch on camera, but I'm probably going to mention it in the range report when it comes out. Which I don't know, it might not be fair because it didn't happen during the tests. But sometimes when I go to the range, especially with the pistols, I'll put like a magazine through it just to become familiarized with the gun. And I'll try shooting it a number of different ways. And a gun like this, I'll shoot it double action, single action, and then double action, just to get all those different kind of pulls out of the way and go, okay, that's what this gun is about. That's the point of aim, blah, blah, blah. And when I got to the double action test, where, you know, if I had a loaded magazine, put in the gun, you know, and if I loaded it and so forth, I would decock it and then take the safety off. And so I pull the trigger back, double action, and a couple of times it went click and not bang. And I had what looked like light primer strikes. And I'm trying to remember, I saved the box of ammo. It was something Brass Max or whatever it is. Maybe you guys know what it is in the comment section. I said I saved the box. And I've never had issues with this ammo before. In fact, I use this ammo a lot on other range reports. Never had problems with it having like a hard primer strike. I'm sorry, a hard primer and having light primer strikes. But on this gun, it did not like that ammo. Once or twice in that first magazine, I was like, why, when I shoot this double action, am I getting light primer strikes? Now, Richard, who lent this to the channel, did say he thinks some of the springs may have been changed out on this. And maybe they reduced the hammer spring on this. Maybe. But when I put in what was the other? I said, I save everything. I think it was Federal. I put through this, no issues whatsoever. So when I went to the shooting portion and the filming portion, I did not have the light primer strikes. So I did not catch that on camera. But before I shot it, I did. So I don't know what that means. And that was really the only issues I had with it. But otherwise, the gun was spectacular. Spectacular. Very accurate gun. And it reminds me of why I love the Beretta 92 FS. And the other thing I love about this gun, this design, is that it has such an awesome sound when you're racking this gun. There's just something about the sound of a Beretta 92 when you rack the slide. It reminds me of that meme you occasionally see on like Facebook Reels or whatever. It's that there's some girl, she's sitting in her car and she has like an iced latte or something. And she goes, tell me a better sound than this. And she like shakes the cup, you know? And of course people take that and they do things with it where, you know, whatever they show in the second part of the meme is like something like really awesome, like the sound of like a B-52 Stratofortress flying over or some other thing that has an awesome sound. But in my opinion, one of those awesome gun sounds, besides the racking of an AK-47, I mean, that is such an iconic sound. It's just a badass sound, is the racking of a slide of a Beretta 92 FS. I mean, it just has that right sound. I mean, it just sounds great. Yeah, and it sounds even better when there's rounds in the chamber. There's just something about that sound that I absolutely love. It just, I don't know, it's just iconic. And it's mechanical, but it sounds crisp. I love that about the 92. So I had a great experience with this, except for those first couple of shots before I was filming, light primer strikes, and of course, having to get over that longer reset of the trigger, but all Berettas are like that. So anyway, that was my first impressions with that. So I can't wait to make the proper range report and review on it and show you guys what it's all about. And actually, when this is probably this might be the next one in the queue. Right now I have filmed range footage on this and a suppressor, the Dead Air Mask 22. So those are the two things I have right now, and the suppressor reviews require so much prep on the editing side because I have to put in all the data, the chronograph data. It just takes a while. These pistol reviews are so much easier and quicker. So this one might be the next one, but if it is, it will be set for early July of next year. Yeah, right now it is what, October, mid-October-ish of 2024. This thing will not be released at the proper range report video until July of 2025. That's how many videos I have in the can. All right. Now let's talk about an upcoming project. I recently showed you my work with the Sig P220 Legion 10 millimeter single action only. And I filmed the range report on that one, and I was able to return it to Michael. And Michael had something else for me. And he loves his Legion SIGs. And so he said, hey, you have a choice. Do you want to take the P229 Legion or the 226? Well, I already have a 226 into the channel for review right now. Not a Legion, a different model from Jack, #1. So I was like, okay, give me the 226 for a little bit. So I'm going to get some trigger time on this bad boy. And it's the single action only version of the P226. This one is chambered in 9 millimeter. We got that really nice thumb safety. Love this gun. This thing is pretty darn awesome. I think the 226 is the best of all of the P-Series pistols from Sig. This one has the aluminum frame where the 220 had the steel frame, so it's a little bit lighter. This is going to be a lot of fun. I just have to make sure I remember about the sights and the combat sights and the combat hold on these sights. And hopefully this gun will not shoot low. That's what I always struggle with when it comes to the SIGs. Now, this gun also has a really nice trigger in it. And this is one of the very few flat-face triggers I like. But I know why I like it compared to many of the others. And that is because it has a little hook here at the bottom. And because it has this little hook, I don't consider it to really be a flat-face trigger. Yes, we have a flat surface here, but this right here makes it so much more comfortable for me because when my finger is in that trigger, the bottom of my trigger can, or sorry, my bottom of my finger can rest on that, and it feels so much more comfortable. And man, is that trigger so nice. Oh my gosh. And I'm assuming this is the SRT trigger. Yeah, oh yes. Woo! Let me show you the reset on this thing. Oh my gosh. That is sweet. That is nice. That might be the nicest Sig P-Series trigger I have ever felt. That thing is sweet. So this is going to be a lot of fun. So he lent this to the channel with 3 mags. So we should have some fun with this thing. So chambered it in 9 millimeter, and I look forward to reviewing that because I've reviewed a lot of SIGs, but not a lot of Legions. In fact, in my mind, I remember reviewing other Legions, but maybe I'm wrong because I have reviewed like 500 something guns. But when I look back through my channel catalog, I don't think I have any except for that 220 that I just finished. So anyway, this is going to be another variant of the 226 that I get to shoot. And it's nice that it's the single action only version. I kind of look at these as a good alternative to a 1911 or a 2011. Because there's people out there that just don't like 1911s or 2011s. They, for whatever reason, okay? And there's a lot of reasons to like them, a lot of reasons not to like them. But if you're looking for something different and more modern, because you're like, everybody has a 1911, everyone has a 2011. The Sig Legion single action onlys are a great alternative. And I like them. I like them a lot. So that's going to be really, really nice to shoot. So that's what I got on the table. And just want to come out here and talk a little bit of guns with you guys. So I had to put this one in the queue, start doing my little research on it, and hopefully I'll get to it very soon. But in the next couple of days, I'll be working on the video for this. And I think that would get me all caught up in all the range footage I have filmed. Then I still got a stack of stuff. I got that 229 in from Jack #1 that I got to put in the SRT trigger. So I want to do a video on that. I want to take that to the range. Man, I got a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff to do. So anyway, working hard. So that's why I say every range trip cannot be a pleasure trip, because I just got so much work to do. I cannot waste a trip. And I guess that's all I got for you. So thanks for joining me here in the garage. Just want to talk some guns. So if you made it to the end of today's video, What's the word of the day? The word of the day is going to be work. Work is the word of the day because every time I go to the range, I have to work. Yeah. I guess only other thing I could share with you tonight is it was a little bit sad at the gun range today because while I was in the gun range, I guess outside, and it had nothing to do with the gun range, it just happened to be at the intersection. The Frisco Gun Club is at the corner of El Dorado Parkway and, oh, I forgot the little cross street thing. But anyway, it's kind of a dangerous intersection because they really should have a light there. And it's one of those things where El Dorado Parkway is like a 6-lane road. But the speed limit's like 50, and if you need to go left and pull out of the area where the gun club is, you'll probably have to take some risks because the timing of everything is bad. You know, there's always cars coming in one direction, and of course people fly down that road faster than they should, and people don't use their blinkers and so forth. But I guess while we were in there, there was a terrible accident outside there, and I don't know ages, but somebody died, essentially. So while I was in there about, 500 feet away from where I was filming this range report, somebody got killed while I was filming this, right outside. Like, it was a bad accident because we went inside after, the gun range portion is connected to like the inner part of the range, and they have like a restaurant in there. It's a VIP restaurant. And so we went in there, and I noticed all these fire trucks and police cars outside and things, and I mean, it was massive. And I saw all the cars being detoured around. And so I just kind of look out the window and I saw this car. I honestly don't know how the accident happened because the physics of it don't make any sense because the road, people typically don't go that fast, but somebody must have been flying at, crazy high speeds because one car, it was just compacted and it was like an SUV. And like the whole front end was gone and every airbag had gone off. And they had ambulances and fire trucks out there. And that's when they said somebody had died. So it was bad. It was bad. But anyway, kind of sad because, life is short and you never know when your last day is. And you have to count your blessings. And so, so while I was inside, completely unaware, right outside, somebody got killed. So, yeah. It kind of makes you think, kind of makes you think. So anyway, the word of the day is work. So let me know what you think in the comment section below and tell me what you think about any of the guns that I show off here. And remember, this is just my behind the scenes channel. Please don't think this is a formal review. It's not. This is just my first impressions where I get to talk to you about the guns that I shoot and share my experiences with you before I film the actual reviews that go on the main channel. So that's it. Thanks for joining me as always. And as always, thanks for watching.